Motor Speedway, where the 5th caution of the afternoon has waved over the racetrack because of an incident in turn number 2 involving Bobby Hamilton. It happened on lap 309. Hamilton went into the corner, and it got out from under him, Benny.
He just got behind on his steering. He tried, he got it back, finally went around. He goes around, and the front's going, and watch the flaps come up on the roof. Folks, those things are there to make the car, keep the car on the ground when they spin out. Not go around, he comes down, and boom, it's the inside wall.
Those flaps are for aerodynamic purposes. It spoils the foil and keeps the car on the ground. And here come those on the lead lap in for pit stops, including Ernie Irvan on the top, Darrell Waltrip in the middle, and Jeff Burton on the bottom. Burton arrives at his pit stall. The Irvan crew complete work on the right side, goes to work on the left. Darrell Waltrip is finished in 21.3 seconds. He's pitted closest to turn 4. Has to come clear down the main straightaway here at less than 55 miles an hour. Ernie Irvan completes his pit stop in 20.5 seconds. He's rolling, and Burton had the fastest at 18.7, and he too is underway again. And Morgan Shepherd is also the 4th car on the lead lap, and he too has his service completed and is away. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Darrell Waltrip finally figured it out. It wasn't a right front tire going down. It just felt that way because the way the steering wheel didn't want to turn with him. Actually, he's lost the power steering. So, Benny, at this track where you're in the turn so much, how much is that going to hurt him toward the finish of this race?
Well, we've only got about 20 laps to go, 19 laps to go, John. So, and he has a chance to win this race. It will not be a problem for Darrell Waltrip with just 19 laps to go, I would think.
I know how it feels when the power steering goes out on my car. Is it the same feeling in a stock car?
It's the same feeling, but not as bad.
Yeah.
No, not nearly as bad as it is on a stock car.
And Jerry Punch has a follow-up on Ernie Irvan.
We have seen fast pit stops. What I just saw here in the Ernie Irvan pit was a very deliberate pit stop. They know they've got plenty of race car probably to win this race on the racetrack. They cannot afford to lose it in the pits. That's why they watched and made sure that every single lug nut was on before Jeff Clark dropped the jack. As Waltrip comes back in, let's go to John Kernan.
Well, we told you it's the power steering that has gone out on Darrell Waltrip. So Barry Dodson and the crew will go underneath. They're going to add power steering fluid to try and give Darrell just a little help, all the help he needs. Hey, you got a caution. There are only, 4 cars on the lead lap. So why not take a chance as well as Darrell has run today? Barry pouring in the last drop of the power steering fluid. Just a minor leak, they think, is what the problem is. And in fact, you can see where the power steering fluid had sprayed up under. Now let's go down pit road as Darrell leads to Jackaroo.
John Kernan, there's some serious concern in the pits of Jeff Burton's machine. This is the right front tire that came off during that last pit stop. When we moved it up this way, you can look inside, and it's totally covered with oil. They're not sure what the problem is. They didn't discover it until after Burton had gone back out onto the racetrack.
Any speculation, Benny?
Was it front or rear, Jack?
Benny, it's the right front.
The right front. It looks like a grease seal on the right front hub that may be leaking, and get some grease on the inside of that wheel.
Well, that should create a serious concern for that team.
Or it could be brake fluid as well.
Yep. Well, in any case, the field is getting lined up for a restart, possibly in one more lap. Go ahead, Jack.
Well, but the problem is, guys, is they thought that it might be grease, but they're not really sure. They were down there, they're actually taking it, tasting it, trying to figure it out. And you know, Benny, nowadays, with the differences in lubricants and as lightweight as they're running, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
It really is. I'm sure they're very, very concerned. If it is a grease seal, are they going to run out of grease in that hub and the thing freeze up for lack of lubrication? There we see all the cars in the lead lap. Irvan, the 28. Jeff Burton in the 8th. The 21 car of Morgan Shepherd is now 3rd, and Darrell back to 4th.
There is a bit of a discussion, as you can see, as to who goes where for the lineup for the restart, but we should be getting a green flag next time around. As you can see, the lights on top of the pace car are off, indicating that next time around we will go back to green. That will be the completion of lap 312, beginning lap 313, and so just about 16 more laps to go to the conclusion of this race. There's the crew cam on Morgan Shepherd, and he now runs in third position. Yeah.
Darrell Waltrip's all the way back to fourth. But again, I think that probably was a good move. Stopping, put it in the fluid to make the steering just a little bit easier. Because we saw all the oil, as John Kernan mentioned, up under the hood where it leaked out.
Of course, he wouldn't have even thought about doing it had that been a green flag pit stop, but it was under caution, and so they could take the time to try to fix it as best as they can for the final laps of this event. Here we go. The green flag waves. Back to racing to the conclusion of the Purolator 500.
Now, Ernie wants Mark to race these guys, to race Jeff Burton down the corner. Get him up on the outside. I'll get on the inside. I'll make up about a second here while he tries to get by that traffic.
That's exactly what's happening, too. Two cars already between Irvin and Burton. Mark Martin, don't forget, down in 5th position.
We see Morgan Shepherd trying to take second spot away from Burton. He does. Morgan Shepherd put him in second spot.
The winner of last year's race here at Atlanta is now up to second place, Morgan Shepherd. Great run for the Wood Brothers team in the Citgo Ford for Morgan.
Earnhardt almost crashes coming off the center.
Earnhardt was sideways coming off to the mini stages.
Morgan Shepherd looking at straight ahead, trying to find that 28 car and wondering how he can catch him.
Morgan Shepherd started 14th. Currently up to second.
Morgan Shepherd must love this race.
He is always a factor here. A lot of debris on the race late in the race.
Now he wants leg speed to move over, let him go by. Don't hinder by moving toward the front. Lake does that.
Has Morgan been saving something for the closing stages? He appears to be closing in on Ernie.
Right now, Ernie just wants to keep the car in a straight line. Don't use the tires up. Don't get the car out of shape. Now, look, Mark Martin moved way over to let Morgan Shepherd go. Hey, you
But Mark also has to contend with the 15-car Blake Speed, who is right behind him, and they are battling for position.
That's right. They're racing for the 5th spot.
Morgan Shepherd now has clear sailing. No cars between himself and the leader. Can he close in and take the lead from Ernie Irvin in the closing 12 laps of this event?
That's what Jackaroo was talking about. Those guys checking those tires. And they know what set of tires have run the best on their car all day long. They want exactly that same set on the car right now for the last 12 laps. We're able to find, we're able to decipher that car. Exactly the same tire.
Morgan Shepherd has 4 career wins, and 3 of them have been here at Atlanta. He has won this race twice, in 93, last year in 86, and he won the November race in 1990. Here comes Darrell Waltrip up to challenge Jeff Burton.
Race for third place between Burton and Darrell Waltrip. Here's Darrell looking on the inside. But Burton accelerates, goes down the straightaway in front of Darrell. He has no choice but fall back. Once again, leg speed, courteous enough to move over and let these guys go.
Darrell Waltrip is looking at 3 Fords ahead of him. Now make that 2 Fords ahead of him. He tries to take him away past Jeff Burton. And it appears as if he has done so. Indeed, Darrell Waltrip moves to 3rd.
Down to it, just 9 laps. And I tell you what, folks, Shepherd is getting closer, I think.
He is. He's only maybe 10, 12 car lengths behind Ernie.
I'll tell you what, when in that position, you can pick up about 2/10 of a second. You don't know you can. Because the car right in front of you, being the leader of the race and the checker flag almost in the air.
The adrenaline starts pumping a little bit quicker, doesn't it?
Man, it's even pumping in me, and I'm up here in the booth.
8 laps to go in the Purolator 500.